And last Saturday, we were all at Batley for UKW Wrestlebration Aftermath. Jim, I've got to be honest, mate, it was absolute stellar show, let's be honest.
Yeah, mate, absolutely fantastic show. Obviously, of your left shoulder, people can actually see that the video is actually on. But yeah, it was only my second show ever, and really enjoyed it. Obviously, Shannon, it was her first ever show, and she came out absolutely buzzing with it. So yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, Shannon, like I said, it was obviously your first show and stuff like that. What was you thinking when we obviously going into watching it?
Well, at first, because I've never been out to watch out like that before, I was a bit hesitant of how we were going to feel and if I knew what were going to be happening. But at the end of it, I absolutely loved it. It was really good. I was right impressed with the show.
Absolutely. And I think one thing you liked as well is that we included you in a lot of things. Like Jim obviously fucked off to go and check the merch stand. I mean, you just had like a full 10-minute conversation about wrestling just randomly.
Yeah, it was good to kind of be myself as well. And it were, because generally sometimes it is hard to be yourself, and I could be myself in that space, which were really good.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, Jim, like I said, I mean, what did you think taking obviously, Shannon?
I really enjoyed it. Like, obviously, I've been a fan of wrestling ever since I was a kid, sort of thing. I've kind of forced Shannon into being.
Don't say forced.
Basically, have. It's basically been a case that I like watching wrestling. If you don't like watching wrestling, you can go upstairs and go to bed or what have you. But yeah, she's like really, she's taking it in a stride. Really, just like really getting to watch wrestling. She obviously likes watching WWE and picking out a favorite sort of thing. And when I said to her, "Do you want to come to this show with me and Liam?" She didn't even hesitate. Went, yeah, I'll come. I really want to come. So yeah, we're really happy that she came.
Interesting. Shannon, were you nervous about obviously like meeting obviously new people and stuff?
Yeah, but then as well, I think because I know that you've been friends with James a long time, I think that we're more relaxing, like kind of knowing more about you as well, which were a lot easier to be a bit more calm around.
No, absolutely. For some bizarre reason, a lot of people say I've just got that face where people just like open up. I don't know what it is. It just must be me.
You're easy to talk to. I think that's the reason why. And I think it's because I knew that you'll get nervous as well as me. I think that were more relaxing for me.
I still get nervous now, even when I'm doing these bloody interviews and stuff like that. But I mean, Jim, we have to talk obviously about battling stuff like that, and we have to talk about Jonathan Cedric and stuff. The communication you guys have had has been absolutely, top notch.
Oh man, I can't big up Jonathan enough. Massive shout out to Jonathan, and not just Jonathan though, but also all the crew at UKW up at Batley were absolutely fantastic. I messaged Jonathan, I think it was about 2 weeks before the show, just because for me, when you see people, especially like influencers and what have you, and YouTubers that go to these shows, even if it's not wrestling, and they just pull out a camera and start shoving it into people's faces and everything, I just think that there's a lot of people that probably feel really intimidated by that sort of thing, so it can be quite awful. So the first thing I thought to do was to get in touch with Jonathan and just say, look, myself and Liam, we run these wrestling podcasts. We've had a couple of people on from UKW, including Drew Ashley, Damien Black. We've had Alfie and Didi on. We've had all sorts of other people on, especially for you, Liam, because you've had over 100 interviews already, sort of thing. So my first thought was, if I get in touch with Jonathan and just said to him, look, we'd love to do some live reactions, because it'd be the first time that I've ever done it, first time you've ever done it as well. If we can do something like that, not only will it give us some content for us channels, but it'll also give UKW obviously sort of like a way of showcasing obviously their show through another medium rather than it just being through their YouTube channel that they have through like a pay-per-view wall sort of thing. So yeah, absolutely massive credit towards Jonathan and the people at UKW. The staff are fantastic. They even went out of the way to sort us out a table and an extension cable that went under the mats at the side of the ring, which I weren't expecting the cable whatsoever.
No, I've got to be honest. The cable under the ring really took me by surprise. I'm like, oh my god, what the hell?
Like I expected the cable being to something like one of their cameras that they'd set up or anything or something, but now they threw it like passed it towards us and gave it like put it on the floor at my feet. And I said to the young lad that was setting up, I said, "What's this cable for?" He says, "Oh, it's for you, for your laptop, for your power." I'm like, what? So yeah, I was buzzing with that. I was absolutely buzzing.
Absolutely. Shannon, obviously it was your first time obviously on the camera as well. I could see you were nervous a little bit and stuff, but I think once you get into it, you kind of get into the flow. Do you know what I mean?
I think it's because as well I was mostly concentrating on what were happening, and like when there were one question you ended up asking me, and I went, "You what?" Because I was too focused on what were actually happening, and it was just amazing there. Like I said on our interview, just me and you, and it was just good how everyone were working together and like getting your a table and everything. It was just so good. Everybody looking after each other, and I think that's what it's about.
Absolutely. And I think one thing I liked as well is I think Joe Sedgwick said it was for some bizarre reason they thought it was a table what they were using, but nobody realized backstage that generally we had a camera full setup.
Yeah, I think it was Sigma when I did the interview after with Sigma, and he said, "Yeah, a lot of people came downstairs after and said, someone's got a chuffing table. Am I going through that table?"
It was mad though, weren't it?
It were mental, but the fact that when wrestlers came into the ring, especially Joe Sedgwick, you had the guys in 21 Union as well, and Tommy Dillon. When they saw the camera and everything, the laptop, they were like, what are you doing with that camera? What are you doing with that laptop, you idiot? That sort of thing. Obviously playing into like the heels persona. And I think Joe Sedgwick were just genuinely like, why have you got a camera? Why have you got a laptop, you numpties?
He looked at me, obviously, as we're getting ready for that match, going, "What the hell?" And then after he come back saying, "Oh, you're actually live streaming it, I see."
Yeah.
Oh, the absolute bloody bonkers, man, stuff. So, yeah, I mean, like, we spoke obviously a lot about, the thing is obviously how good the one stuff, but Batley itself, I mean, overall, how was the night?
Really good. Obviously, found parking really easily. Got parked up and what have you. Literally 2 seconds down up the road from venue and everything. We got stood outside, and there were a family that came that was stood outside. And I think the thing I was most nervous about is my equipment not working, because obviously I took my camera, my laptop, my brand new camera that I've just bought like the day before, taking it thinking, oh, I hope it all works. I hope it all works. And then my microphones didn't properly connect up to my stream, so then we had to use the camera microphone, in which I think I've watched the video back and quite a lot of the audio's sort of like distorted. But I've managed to make it so that I can actually connect one of my microphones up to the laptop for next time that we do one.
I think next time as well, you could also take, something like this.
Yeah, so I'm going to end up taking this.
I might just take this one because it's got one of those things where you can take the settings and it picks the sound up, all the way around.
Yes, I'll mate.
So if you next time I do one, let me know, and obviously I'll take this one. It's easy to couple up and stuff, but yeah, there's a little setting where you can basically pick the audio all the way around. I've got it set up where it just picks it, from like a certain angle.
Yeah, mate. I'll have to about when we next go.
Absolutely. So Shannon, I want to ask you about what the last said you at the side, because she seemed a little bit confused.
She just wanted to know what we were doing, as well as she were like, "Oh, is it okay that we can make noises and cheer and stuff?" I was like, "Yeah, the more the merrier." And it was nice that someone else just spoke to me, even though we've never met or seen each other before, and having that reaction with each other. And it was amazing having them at side just wanted to cheer for certain wrestlers, and it were really good.
It's really weird though, isn't it? I mean, when obviously you go to shows, you sit there with your phone and stuff like that. We generally had a full setup, so I imagine a lot of fans are going, "What the actual hell's going on here?"
Yeah.
Yeah, we've got a comment actually from one of the wrestlers from Sigma.
Go on, Sigma. Says, "Hey, love me." I'll let you read it.
Yeah, hey, love meeting you guys after the show. Enjoyed the quick fire questions too. Hope to see you back at the next pay-per-view. we definitely will try and get there, Sigma. It's just a case of my schedule with my band outside of work, and obviously with Shannon working as a carer. But yeah, I think that if we don't go, I think definitely Liam will be at the next pay-per-view.
I'm always at wrestling shows, you know what I mean? Absolutely. You can count me there somewhere. So,
yeah, Sigma was one of the guys on the night that I was really impressed with. Obviously, it was one of the new wrestlers that I'd seen. Well, not a new wrestler, but he was a wrestler that I'd never seen before. And some of the moves that he was pulling out were really, really impressive, sort of thing. Like the athleticism that he showed in the ring was really impressive. So thanks for the comment, Sigma, and also thank you for doing the quick fire questions after the show. But
absolutely. So we obviously bumped into a few people. The legend himself, Wrestling Jeebus.
Yeah, that was quite funny. It walked in and it seemed as though everyone in the race went, "Oh, thank God, Jeebus is here."
It is an absolute legend, but you know what? I mean, I can't speak highly enough about his reels. The reels are absolutely top notch. There's so much effort he puts into it and stuff like that. Even I look going, wow. Do you know what I mean? They're just that good.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely, mate. I mean, the way that he does the reels, the look absolutely incredible, and you can just tell that he puts a lot of effort and a lot of heart and a lot of passion into every single one.
100%. So, Jim, I'm going to hand this over to you because I'm going to let you do the match rundown. We can talk about each match individual, mate. So it's over to you, bro.
Yeah, of course, mate. So, guys, this is in no particular order. But we are gonna start with the pre-show match, which was for the Genesis Championship between the champion Tom Savage versus Young Horace. So, obviously, Liam, myself and you have obviously seen Young Horace before when we went to SPW in Barnsley at New Lodge Club. But we saw quite a different side to Young Horace. So, what was your initial thought of the match, mate?
I mean, the thing is, you could tell, obviously, Tom's got the injury and stuff like that. That was well worked during the match. You saw that in particular. You're absolutely right with Horace. Do you know what I mean? He's one of those fun-loving, guys and stuff like that. We are seeing this mean streak, do you know what I mean? Which is something I've never seen of. Obviously, I've seen a lot of his work. And I've got to be honest, him obviously trying to, cheat and stuff like that kind of backfired, let's be honest.
Yeah, definitely. You got out to action.
I liked when you said about even though you've got injury, it doesn't always hold you back. And that were really good because I thought the other guy were going to win because of the certain moves, as well as taking his support off the injured elbow. It was a really good match, and especially at the end, showing that he wasn't impressed at all not winning the match.
Jim, what about you, man?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. Just echoing what you both have said, I thought it was a really good match. Obviously, Young Horace showing that bit of tenacity that I think he's needed to show for a while, just taking advantage of that injury sort of thing. But obviously, Tom Savage showing that he is one tough SOB, fighting through the pain of that injury sort of thing, obviously selling the injury. And just, yeah, it was a really good match, really nice finish as well. Obviously, Horace tried to take the turnbuckle pad off, which the referee then told him to get off and stop doing it. Went over to the other one, and then Tom splashed him in the corner, and then obviously got the win. I think it was a really good match.
No, absolutely. And it's like you said there. I love a good heel and stuff like that. And after the match, he took that personal. Let's be honest.
Yeah, he definitely took it real personally, and I think the thing that he said is 4 years I've been fighting for this title. I've had enough, sort of thing. So it's definitely showing a bit of dark side, which I can see. I couldn't see exactly what he was holding in his hands, Young Horace, at the end, but it looked as though it might have been like a darker mask, or it might have been like a dark shirt or something like that. So might end up.
I think it was a shirt.
Yeah, might end up seeing like a heel version of Young Horace, like a full-blown heel, which would be quite interesting to see.
100%, mate. But yeah, that's the first match, mate.
Yeah, so obviously, as we said, guys, in no particular order, next match we want to talk about is involving the very fantastic person that's commented, is Cliff Harrison versus Sigma. Over to you, Liam.
Wow. This match was absolute brutal. Now, I've spoke to Seb Mercer, so I know the history of these two guys. They've been in a bit of a faction, a bit of a tit for tat and stuff like that. And I remember that obviously we spoke to them after the show that these obviously do know each other pretty well, but every single hit in that match for me felt personal. And I think there's a picture of what Sigma posted about his back. And oh my God, it looked battered and bruised. I don't know if you saw it.
Yeah, mate, I saw it. I even showed it to my dad, and my dad's one of them like classic old school dads where he's like, "Oh, wrestling's fake. It's fake. This, that, other." I showed my dad, and he just went, "He's a mad bastard. He's a mad bastard." I was just like, "Yeah, that's what they do, Phil. That's what." He's like, "Oh, I thought you were fake." Like when they're getting it with things like kendo sticks and what have you, they're not fake. Trust me. He's like, "Oh, I bet it's all right. That's all right." So yeah, absolutely fantastic match. Really hard-hitting stuff. Like there were a couple where I actually turned around to you and said, "They do know that they're not actually supposed to hit each other, don't they?" And me and you just had a quick laugh about it. But yeah, absolutely fantastic match. I cannot praise Sigma or Cliff Harrison enough.
Oh, Shannon.
I enjoyed that match, but I had a few times where I had to kind of go, "Oh no, that hurt." I could like feel it myself, and I even said, "Oh, my back." It makes me think about my back.
Dear. Yeah, like I said, it's a solid match and stuff like that. And I think even after the show, we were still talking about that match.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
Right, Jim, over to the next match, pal.
Yeah, so next match is was actually an open challenge match. This wasn't actually included on the card. It was between Ruby Broco and a mystery opponent, which we found out was actually Rain, which ended up being an absolute banger of a match. Obviously, Ruby being quite the dastardly heel, trying to get out of the match because she wasn't expecting to having Rain as the opponent, sort of thing. There was that one young lass at the side of us that when we shouted Ruby sucks, she like stared daggers at us. So we were like, we're best behave here, otherwise we're going to end up with another DD.
We're going to get kicked out.
We're going to end up getting cancelled with another DD incident where stream corrupts because we've said something bad about someone. So yeah, but yeah, absolutely fantastic match. Ruby, really, really fantastic performer. Rain, another fantastic performer. Can't fault him whatsoever. Fantastic match, ladies. Up to you, Liam.
I mean, the one thing I love is like, even like when we're looking at this match going, who's it going to be? We thought it was going to be Drew Ashley and stuff like that, but then we confirmed that wasn't because obviously she was doing something else. I know it wasn't going to be Leonie Rose because I know she's injured, by the way, and I hope she's healing well. The only other one I thought at first was Courtney Davis because I know that she's obviously working hard to get into the ring. So when it was Rain, I'm like, okay, do you know what I mean? Because I know some of her work, but not at all. And you could see straight away Broco's, I was like, oh God, what have I done? Do you know what I mean? What the hell have I done?
Yeah, it was definitely the Metal Gear Solid noise of bing, where she saw her come out and you're like, oh shit, I've made the worst mistake of my life. But yeah, absolutely fantastic match. Can't fault them whatsoever. Yeah, going back to what you said about the people that we thought it was, we said to each other, if it's Drew Ashley, I'm going to go mental because obviously we're really good friends with Drew. She's obviously been injured for a couple of months because she broke a heel. So want to send massive shout out to Drew Ashley and also Leonie Rose. Hope you both get better soon, ladies. I have been in contact with Drew and she's informed me that she should be back possibly late October and into November. So fingers crossed we get to go and see her. But yeah, can't fault him for that match. I'm going to pass it off to Shannon.
Shannon, over to you.
I really enjoyed that match, especially with Ruby. I definitely noticed that her character was. It was good to see some of the characters developing and understanding a bit more of the storyline. But especially like Jim said about sorry, I'm trying to think what I was trying to say then.
All right.
Just way that she weren't expecting that person to come out to wrestle her, and it was like, oh, what have I done here?
It's like you brought out the biggest bully into you, going, oh shit, what have I done?
Yeah, it's like she were expecting someone else, and it makes me wonder who else was she wanting to actually want to come out.
Could be anybody. Do you know what I mean? Like I said, we had our guesses and stuff like that, and unfortunately, we were both wrong, Jim.
I know, mate. I will go to the weren't Drew, but yeah, as you said, she actually put on the live stream chat that she hoped that we were having a good time, and that's when Yorkshireman and Joe Sedgwick came behind us and were like, "Drew, where are you? Drew, where are you?" So yeah, that was quite funny.
Yeah, and like I said, I still love the fact that everyone was walking past the camera going, "What the hell's going off?"
Found it particularly funny when we first set up and everything, and we first started recording, and just James came.
Yeah,
His character, I thought that was quite funny as well.
yeah, because I said to him, "You didn't realize what I am doing." He's like, "Nope, I ain't got a fucking clue who you are." I'm like, "All right, cheers, pal." Then I explain, I'm saying, "Oh, that show for free thing I did. Oh, how you doing, mate? All right." I'm like, "Oh, you don't fucking know who I am." Dear. Next match.
So next one we've got was for the UKW Women's Championship, was Nisa the champion versus Freya Rose. Now this was quite a hard-hitting match as well. Obviously Nisa quite a bit smaller than Freya Rose. Freya Rose playing obviously the larger, more stronger competitor sort of thing. I think that they've really leaned into that those character arcs quite well. Obviously Nisa playing the quicker, more sort of like agile babyface sort of thing, and Freya trying to use her power to overpower Nisa. But yeah, it was a really good match. Felt as though they could have gone a bit longer, in my opinion. But yeah, I think it was a well-timed match and a really good choreographed match.
Yeah, the thing is, I mean, everyone I've spoken from UKW can't speak highly enough about, Nisa and stuff like that. Apparently, her personality backstage is absolutely top notch. And I like that, do you know what I mean? Because, sometimes in wrestling, do you know what I mean? You get the personalities clash, you get different people like working with and stuff like that. So, yeah, I mean, to see her in the ring, like I said, I don't think the size thing, makes a difference. You know what I mean? She will still literally kick the shit out of you. Do you know what I mean? Let's be honest. Now, in the terms of obviously Freya Rose, I obviously know who obviously trained her, which is obviously Joseph Connors. And I've got to be honest, that her athleticism, do you know what I mean, really surprised me. I'm like, oh, wow, okay. And to me, I really enjoyed this match. I mean, I prefer this one to the Open Challenge one, to be honest.
Yeah, I second that to be honest. I mean, the bit with the Freya Rose, she did the crab thing that like the Matrix move that Trish Stratus used to do, and I weren't expecting that whatsoever. So I was really impressed with that bit of athleticism that she showed there. But yeah, this I think if we were to score the matches, I'd have given the Open Challenge possibly a 3.5. I would have given this a 4 out of 5.
I'd agree with you, 4. Do you know what I mean? Solid match and stuff like that. And yeah, Frey really impressed me, and also Nisa as well.
Yeah, definitely, mate. Anything you want
to add? Like you said with that move, that were a really good one. I was like, oh. I were impressed with the moves that they used and stuff like that, and where, like, especially the pins. I was like, they're definitely enjoying the 2, not getting to 3. Like, come on.
It's 3. There we go. Boom. Yeah, I have nothing else to add from me, Jim. So next one, pal.
So, mate. So next one is probably collective favourite of us three. It was the UKW Tag Team Championship match between 21 Union of Joe Sedgwick and I forgot his partner's name.
Sebastian Mercer.
I knew it would begin with an M. So you had Joe Sedgwick and Sebastian Mercer of 21 Union versus the Firing Squad, the champions, which we ended up finding out that Just James put Red Broco in the match to make it a 3-on-2 for the Firing Squad, which we were quite confused with this match.
I was very confused. I'm like, okay, where's this going and stuff like that. And to be fair, I mean, once I got past the confusion thing, I thought these guys really work obviously well together. I mean, obviously I've spoke to Seb, I've seen Seb and obviously Joe through multiple promotions. I mean, 2 solid guys. And yeah, I mean, for me, this has to be one of my favorite matches of the night. Do you know what I mean? So much like thing, and this was after the pre-show, if I remember rightly.
Yeah, this was the first match of the main card. This one, mate.
And I also just remembered like Joe Cedric looking at me going, "What's going on here?" Because all the setup and all that.
Yeah, I think everyone was just really confused as to why we'd got a full blown setup outside at ring.
I was more bothered about if they're actually going to fly into the side or something like, do you know, knock it all over?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, coming towards us.
Yeah, it's like, oh shit, okay, moving on. But no, I mean, as in terms of this match, and the thing is with Seb, and I want to put the spotlight on him a bit. When I obviously started doing interviews and stuff like that, he was the first guy I obviously had on the show. So for me, I'm always going to have a soft spot, you know, for UKW because there's so many people I've spots from there. Obviously, Kirsty Love's another one. I've had Joe Cedric on. I've had, who else have I had on? I've had Just James, Drew, obviously, as we know. So there's been some phenomenal, people, coming out there.
Definitely, mate.
It were a really good match. Like how quick they were going and stuff like that. But the moves that they were coming out with, it were just so good. And especially is it Rocco? Sorry, I'm not good with everybody's names.
Rocco.
Rocco. It were really shocked that he wanted 21 Union to win. And it were good at the beginning. It was like a little joke thing. And I was like, this is going to be a good match. You could just tell from the beginning that it were just going to be a really good match. And I were really impressed. And I think that's one of the matches where I was like, this is amazing. I'm really enjoying this.
Yeah, and I think the thing is for me as well is I'm a massive fan of tag team wrestling. So for some reason, when I watch a tag team match, I'm not saying I'm more invested, but I'm like, okay, because the thing is with tag teams, you can try to watch it over there, but there's stuff happening over there. Your eyes are literally absolutely everywhere.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Definitely.
So I've got nothing to add for that, James.
No, I think I've got to. I think I've definitely got to say that it were my match of the night. That one, the tag team, just because, like you said, your eyes were absolutely everywhere. The speed that the guys were throwing each other, throwing themselves at each other, was just insane. Obviously, the storytelling of Red Rocco getting involved in the match as well, not wanting the firing squad to win, which, me personally, I think Firing Squad should have won. That's just because I'm good friends with Damien Black, and I've offered my services to Damien Black to join the Firing Squad. So, Damien, if you're watching this, mate, or if the guys in the Firing Squad are watching this, hook me up with a shirt and I'll represent the Firing Squad. But anyway, so yeah, absolutely fantastic match. Can't thank Joe Sedgwick and Sebastian Mercer any more than we can do.
Absolutely, and stuff like that. Next match.
So very nearly missed this one because it wasn't actually on the notes that I made. We had the hardcore title Fatal 4-Way, which was Danny Missing, the champion, versus CJ Calhoun versus Buckshot Buckley versus Remus Kane. This was unbelievable. Oh my God.
Do you know what really scared me more so is the characters? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, that's what I was just thinking, especially that Kane one. Oh, that were good, really good. Especially where he did his character, it was really good. I was really impressed with that.
Yeah, because I look, like I said, one thing you get invested in, obviously, is characters and stuff like that. And he was literally smack where we were, and I'm like, holy shit, please don't come over here because you are literally scaring the fuck out of me.
It definitely had that sort of like that Bray Wyatt vibe to him, sort of thing, where you just didn't know what the hell he were going to do. He had quite a bit of Demon Finn Balor sort of like persona with the makeup, and yeah, just unbelievable. Danny Missing, wow, what a talent he is! Can see why he's champion. I mean, that jump off the top of the ladder towards the end were just unbelievable. I didn't think that I'd see something like that at a UK wrestling show.
No, not at all. I mean, and like I said, we can kind of fall off what we said about the tag matches because you've got so much action going along. Do you know what I mean? You're trying to like watch that, but then you're missing stuff of that. And That's one thing I like about wrestling shows is the more people in the match, the more you're trying to like more focus. You know what I mean?
Agree.
Definitely. I mean, obviously, people watch things like AEW, WWE, TNA, New Japan Pro Wrestling, where there's all this big like production and everything. If they're watching it live, where you've got all these camera angles, but when you're actually there in person, you've actually like physically got to make sure that you're watching, because you might miss something. I mean, obviously there's replays and everything when you're watching things on WWE and what have you, but when you're actually there and watching it from the stand sort of thing, you've got to make sure that you're looking around. Plus, all we could hear was screaming from Jobbing with Nikki, but we love Nikki.
Yeah, and I think that's one thing that does my head in as well, is like you can miss something and stuff like that. And when you watch it back, it's not the same, do you know what I mean, than actually being there.
Definitely.
No, it's that can't say the word. That vibe around you, into that feeling of having it, everyone else joining in.
Yeah, like a camaraderie, if you want to get posh.
Yeah.
And stuff like that. Now, I do believe we've got, is it 2 or 3 matches left? I think we've got a clue. I've lost where we are.
We've got 2 matches left.
Okay, next one.
So next one was for the UKW Television World Championship. It was George Hunter, the champion, versus Tommy Dillon. We spoke to Jobber with Nikki just before the card started, and we asked her, who is someone that you think is underrated? And the first person she said was George Hunter. And wow, she was right, because it was just insane. I mean, his finishing move is one of the most impressive moves I've ever seen, like ever. It was absolutely insane. Obviously, the Phoenix splash off the top rope was just brilliant. And I've got to say, Tommy Dillon really laid into his heel persona, which I really liked. Obviously, I shouted a couple of things at him that made people laugh and what have you. And when he came over and just went, "Oh, you shut up!"
Nah, I love that time. So, and the one thing I like about this match in particular is we've got contrasting styles. We've got George Hunter, obviously, is clearly the high flyer and stuff like that. And Tommy's like the ground and pound. And one of my favorite types of wrestling is when you've got a contrasting styles. Right? You've got like a mixture, like high flyer versus, like I said, powerhouse, or like ground and pound and stuff like that. And that's what you saw with this match.
Right. Just everything that you've just said. I agree.
Yeah, I mean, and let's not forget though, James, you obviously spoke to him after the show as well.
Yeah, I forgot his first name, like an absolute pillock, but yeah, spoke to him after, and it was just a really sound guy, really nice, down to earth guy. So, just want to put it out there as well that any of the wrestlers from the show that is watching, obviously, can't include Sigma in this because he's under 18. If anyone wants to get in touch with myself to come up on the channel to speak about their journey into wrestling, and obviously through wrestling, and any mental health problems that they've had or anything like that, or any battles they've faced with mental health, just get in touch and I'll be more than happy to get you on the show.
100%, mate. So, but yeah, I mean, I think we've got one more match then.
Yeah, you want to?
Before, the one that I think I would enjoy that you would get on channel is the one that's the character of the what is it called? The Kane one.
Oh, Remus Kane.
Yeah. I would want to know his storyline and why and what made him come up with his character and stuff. I would want to know about that. It would be really interesting.
Well, you're giving us some ideas, so maybe we might reach out to him after the show.
There you go. So yeah, final match was obviously the main event. It was the Persian Rules match for the UKW World Heavyweight Championship. You had Mustafa Khan, the Persian powerhouse, versus the champion Johan Hunt. And what can we say about this? It was absolute cinema.
This were unbelievable and stuff like that. And do you know something? I don't think like Mustafa Khan, in videos actually do it justice. That guy is fucking huge. Do you know what I mean?
Well, there were a couple of times that he came out of the ring and jumped down onto the mat just in front of us, and the entire table nearly shook. Well, it did shake, and all the equipment shook. I was like, "Chuffing hell, he's going to fall over this stuff," because he was just an absolute unit of a man.
Absolutely, but yeah, I mean, obviously Persian rules obviously is no DQ and stuff like that, and let's talk about Lego, shall we? Because I don't care who you are. When you step on Lego, it fucking hurts, right? Okay.
Yes, that were like, ouch. Really painful. That I wouldn't want to be landing on Lego.
Yeah.
No way.
The interesting thing is about this match in particular is I couldn't call the winner. Do you know what I mean? I did not know who I couldn't. Because normally when you get matches like that, do you know what I mean? It's obviously a title change and stuff, but generally I'm thinking I could not call who's going to win this. Let's be honest.
No, it was one of them matches where you couldn't guess who were going to win, but it were a really good match because I were torn between this match and the tag team match of which one would be my favourite, because I really enjoyed them two matches a lot.
Absolutely, and stuff like that. And of course, Johan won and stuff, but Jim, I mean, let's be honest, we know a crowd reaction, do you know what I mean? Stuff like that, but we got one going with the Yorkshireman.
Yeah, definitely. Well, it was even better that the Yorkshireman was just sat 3 seats down from us. So, like, we kept locking eyes with him and going, "Are you doing it? Are you doing it? Are you doing it?" Because he obviously had the ticket to cash in, and we just kept looking into him like, "Are you gonna do it? Are 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 you gonna do it?" So then we started doing Yorkshire chant, and then he also walked around the ring and took his cap off, took his shirt off, and speared Johan, effectively getting the win. But yeah, which is brilliant. And the crowd reaction when he hit the spear and then got the pin, I felt as though we were back at WrestleMania 40 with Undertaker coming out.
100%. Do you know the thing is, right? I mean, I've been obviously to many wrestling shows, as obviously I've stayed. That pop, do you know what I mean? From him getting up, do you know, doing the cashing and stuff like that. That pop was incredible. Do you know what I mean? The crowd was so invested. I was invested. And Yorkshireman's obviously on the video now, backstage, if you look.
Is it?
No, look,
Yeah.
there on the video.
It's in backstage.
Oh, yeah, he's there.
Oh, dear. Do you know what? Like I said, that's one of the best pops I've obviously, you know, been to and stuff like that. And I also love the fact that all the wrestlers, you know, come out after. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, sorry, go ahead.
My favourite part of the match was when Johan threw the powder in his face and it went all over Shannon.
And me?
Yeah, it went all over you, Shannon, and the lady outside of Shannon. And you were all like, "Ah, oh,
it's like, fucking hell. What are you doing?"
When Yorkshireman won, though, you could feel like your body were all goosebumped because of all the crowd and everything. It was just mental. But it was good that everyone come out to just cheer for him and stuff like that, and that he deserved it as well. It was lovely that everyone were like that.
Yeah, exactly, and stuff like that. I mean, but Jim, I mean, obviously, let's talk about obviously what happened outside. Do you know what I mean? Stuff like that. You got to do a lot of like general questions with, I think it was Brocco, Jonathan, Sigma, and then we both did the Yorkshireman.
Don't forget the legend himself, Gary the referee.
And Gary the referee. I do apologise, Gary.
I don't find it funny that Gary got a bigger pop and a bigger chant than the majority of the wrestlers on the night. That was quite funny.
What can I say? Is he a popular guy?
He's an absolute awesome guy. I mean, it walked past the stream a couple of times. We were like, Gary. We're like, we wanted him more than we wanted anybody else. But yeah, absolutely sound guy. But yeah, got to speak to quite a few people outside. Got to speak to Jonathan himself and say thank you for letting us come down. He did a couple of the questions as well. As you said, we had Ruby, had George Hunter, had Sigma on, had Yorkshireman on again because he did the quickfire questions during the stream and then he did them after the stream as well.
I think there was something he said and he broke me when I could just not carry on. I had to like go and compose myself. I think we'll post the video, but he said something and I just could not fucking keep a straight face to what he said.
It was because you asked him what was the worst injury that he had, and it was the injury that he said.
Oh, okay.
Oh, the squats.
He broke his back doing squats.
That one.
And that's when you just completely cashed out. You were like, no, can't do it. Just walked off. I was stood there like, where's your question, you knob?
But no, I mean, overall, do you know what I mean? That guy's just, you can tell he's got an incredible personality.
Oh, brilliant.
It's that thing that you don't expect that someone broke the back by doing squats.
Yeah, it's just one of those things where it takes you off guard, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does. But the actual match, it's that last one, how quick they were doing the moves and stuff and using the kendo sticks and stuff. And when it went through that table,
with Lego on top.
Yeah, with Lego on top.
That was just too far, that for me.
Yeah.
Putting Lego on table. Like, you just don't do that. It's 2025 people.
That kind of gets me obviously to my next point. Obviously, a couple of things, which, Jim, Shannon, what was the spot of the night?
I would say, for me, spot at night was Danny missing off the top of the ladder.
Yeah, that's weird because that's kind of mine as well. Do you know what I mean? That was one of those things where it's like, oh, okay, fair enough. Shannon, what about you?
Something I weren't expecting. Like you, Shannon.
I'm trying to think what you mean.
So,
a moment
that you weren't expecting, or a moment that you weren't expecting.
The bit with the powder. That's one I was expecting. That a powder were coming out.
Fair enough.
So somebody went
And
through
they
a
were
table,
going to
right?
come on me.
So somebody went through a table, somebody dove off a ladder, and you're more bothered about the fucking powder.
Yeah. So someone went through a table. Somebody jumped off a ladder. I remember I liked as well in Sigma and Mustafa's match when Mustafa put Johan in a shopping trolley. That was quite funny. I thought that was quite funny. But yeah, you got all them, and then you got Johan being literally power bombed onto Lego, like,
and she chose the powder.
Yeah, it was just insane. Like, I mean, I remember when he pulled out the bag of, we were like, oh no, it's not thumbtacks, is it? It's not thumbtacks, is it? And then he poured out Lego, like, whoa, that's too far. That's too far. No,
like I said, I don't care who you are. Lego hurts.
I wasn't expecting them bringing Lego out though, and with the nunchucks, I wasn't even expecting them on stage. I wasn't expecting nunchucks. I was like, nunchucks? Oh,
none what?
They'll hurt on your back when he hit him on the back with nunchucks. Ooh.
Right, so Shannon, this next question's for you, by the way. So, what was the bridge of night? I mean, what was the match of night?
Well, I was kind of torn between two. The tag team match and the last match. I just can't fully decide which one I like more. Now I've thought about it more about the matches. It's one of them I can't decide which one were my favourite because I really enjoyed both.
Yeah, I mean, Jim, what about you?
I'm kind of the same, but I'd say between tag match and hardcore match because I thought that they were both really good. But that's just because I like legalized violence.
Yeah, I mean, you forgot about Stigma and Thingy. We said this after the show that match was obviously just as good as well. So,
but yeah, that's the thing. It was such a good card that any of the matches could have been match at night because there weren't one bad match at all.
No, absolutely. Yeah, I mean, I think we're all in agreement. You know, I mean, we said it as well. The tag match for me is absolutely top notch. I'm gonna have to say Stigma and obviously and Sigma. Where have I got Stigma from? What the fuck? Sigma and obviously Cliff. I think that's obviously up there as well. That's probably my top two. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I can't choose, between the others because there's just so much, so great. Do you know what I mean? And yeah, overall, so leaves it thingy. What was the MVP of the night? Which wrestler stood out for you the most?
I'd say George Hunter. Just because the moves that he was pulling out, obviously the Phoenix Splash for his finisher, he was just absolutely unbelievable, the things that he was doing. A really fantastic person as well. Really played it well into his character. And yeah, for me, MVP of the night.
Shannon?
I think I can't remember his name, but the one that was supposed to hand his title over to someone else, I wasn't expecting his turn of like going against everyone and that it were fine to wrestle in the 4.
In the 4-way?
Yeah.
Danny.
Yeah.
Danny? Okay, interesting. I'm going to go for an interesting one, and I'm going to explain why. I'm going to go for Freya Rose. The reason I say that in particular is, like I said, I mean, it was a debut which we didn't realize until after the show, by the way, because you pointed that out. Some of the athleticism in that match, she was absolutely incredible and stuff like that. And I don't feel like sometimes women's wrestling gets the love it deserves.
Definitely, mate. I think it's very much overshadowed just by people's obviously preconceived notion of women's wrestling. Obviously, we spent 30, 40, 50 years watching bra and panties matches and women in wrestling just being valets and what have you, managers. So the velocity and the speed that women's wrestling has come since that has been absolutely insane.
Absolutely, and stuff. I think that's well said. Shannon, anything to add on that?
Yeah, because I do agree with that. Like, especially like because everyone's always focused on the men wrestling, and the women don't get much of like they're really good as well, and how they do the same as the blokes as well. But it's good that how far they've got. Like James says, I'm just really impressed of how they've come to this now and not doing the silly things that they used to do in the bikinis and stuff like that. It's good that people can take them seriously now.
Yeah, and one thing I want to point out is what James said, and I remember it. You said it a while back. Was when it comes to women's wrestling, for some reason, everything they do gets more scrutinized than when the men do it.
Definitely. I mean, just look at Clash in Paris that happened on Sunday. What was it that did it? I think it was Rusev did quite a noticeable botch in the match between him and Sheamus, which things happen, and then not a lot of people spoke about it, but yet Nikki Bella versus Becky Lynch. Nikki did a spot where she did sort of like a springboard crossbody or like a disaster kick in the corner. Completely missed Becky, and everyone scrutinised it. So it's just one of those. We need to get out of this stigma that women are bad at wrestling and what have you, and that men and that women are always going to be worse. So it's just one of those things with society at the moment.
It's just bad that they focus on everything that they do wrong instead of focusing on what they're doing really good.
No, absolutely. And I think one thing I hate as well is like the social media side of it. I mean, over the past 2 days, I've seen a lot of things like with wrestlers, getting scrutiny for like, I think also the appearance and stuff. And Jim, obviously, I told you about an incident, from another wrestling show. This is where the dark side of wrestling comes out, and it really pisses me off.
Definitely, mate. I mean, just to give another example, you look at the first ever women's main event at WrestleMania match between Charlotte Flair, Ronda Rousey, and Becky Lynch. If you ask someone to think of a moment from that match, what's the first thing that they think of?
I don't know.
The botched pin at the end, where Ronda's shoulders weren't on the mat. They did it was a backslide or like a crucifix, and Ronda Rousey's shoulders clearly off the mat, and the referee still counts to 3. And it even got to the point. It got to the end where Michael Cole even went, "She's kicked out," and then about 3 seconds later, Corey Graves went, "No, she's won." And it was like oh dear, that sort of thing.
Yeah, unfortunately, that's the thing obviously we deal with. So, Jim, I'm going to throw a question at you now. So, I want you to pick 3 wrestlers on this card who you'd love to have on your show.
Remus Kane, Mustafa Khan, and Ruby Brocco.
Interesting, because 2 of them's obviously on my list. Mustafa
Great
Khan. You what?
Great minds think alike.
Yes, they do. Mustafa Khan, obviously Ruby Brocco, and I'm going to say Jonathan Cedric as well. Those are the three people. Do you know what I mean? I'd love to get on the show. So, do you know what? I think should we try and get them on the shows?
I think we should try and get all of them on. To be fair,
What, the same show?
yeah. Let's take a big Mac off round table and just plonk a camera right at middle and just interview every single one of them.
It'd be interesting. I'll be honest.
Put ourselves on like a conveyor belt sort of thing, so we can pull send round.
Definitely be interesting, stuff like that. So I'm just looking when their next show is. So the next show for obviously UKW is Showcase of Champions. Saturday, 27th September, exactly the same place. We know obviously the world champion is going to be, right?
Yorkshire.
There you go, stuff like that. So stay tuned for that. I'll tell you what we'll do. Shall we put all the links to UKW in the description for them?
Do you want to know something funnily enough, Liam?
What?
Both myself and Shannon are off that day.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Right, both you go.
Why, you'll come.
Well, I'd have to drag me along every single time. Do you know what I mean? You can go obviously yourselves.
Yeah, but we want you to come, you pillock.
All right.
We're a team now. We can't leave you out now.
I'll stop yours now.
Well, then again, you still ain't bad, but because after what you said to me on the journey there.
Yeah, so for people that don't know, we're on his way to the show and we were sort of discussing how the way that we'd do it, and said that I'd tell Liam where to stand and he'd stand there, and Shannon just said, "Oh, you're going to tell him to jump off a bridge?"
I didn't say them words. I just said, don't tell him to stand on a bridge. But I didn't mean it in that way. I didn't actually focus on what I were actually going to say or think about what I were going to say. But I were basically saying that to not let James tell you what to do, basically.
So for people that are watching this that obviously not been knowing my wife for the first time, Shannon has got dyslexia, and she's like that she ends up saying some things that she doesn't mean or whatever. So if you're wondering why, that's why she's got dyslexia.
I will say one thing, by the way. She was so apologetic, you know, after that. She's like, I'm so sorry. And I'm like, to be quite honest with you, love, I didn't think much about it.
Yeah, that's the best thing.
Do you know what I mean?
Sometimes I don't think.
I dread to think if I come again, what you're going to tell me next time. So yeah,
I made you laugh. That was a good point. At least I know how to make you laugh, but in the worst way, it was. In the worst way ever.
So Jim, have you got more shows you want to get off your list?
I want to go back to the UKW again. I'd really like to go to Salford to obviously see Alfie and Dee Dee. I'd like to see Bentley as well. One person I really do want to go see is Holloway. I really, really want to go watch him and meet him in person, because when I had him on the show, and it was just an absolute legend to have on. Definitely someone that I recommend that anyone that's got a podcast to get him on. He's a really stand-up guy. Another person that I'd really like to go and see is Charlie Main. Obviously, I had him on the show as well, and he was just awesome. I really want to go back to UKW just so I can see Damien Black, to be honest, and see Drew Ashling, because two people that I really felt a good connection with when I had him on the podcast, and just people that I'd really like to meet in person.
The problem I've got is I've got 100 interviews and I can't exactly be in 10 places at once.
I think how you Drew. I've said that. I think because of James doing your interviews with her and stuff like that, and the things that she's said, and knowing that she makes her own costumes and stuff, I really want to see her costumes. And because I love stuff like that and all the interior bits and bobs of how to make things, and how she does her makeup and stuff. I was really interested in that, and I think it'd be really good to see her wrestle.
Yeah, absolutely. I've seen her wrestle, obviously, SPW and stuff like that. So, I mean, the thing is, there's so many wrestling shows in the UK. I mean, we say it every time, Jim, and obviously we're going to end the show on this, is support British wrestling. Do you know what I mean? Not just obviously UKW, as what we talked about today, but any show which is obviously local to you.
Definitely, mate. I mean, you've got wrestling in Newcastle. You've got Red Pro wrestling as well. You've got SPW, you've got UKW, you've got
Progress.
all these Progress, you've got all these fantastic promotions and what have you. So anyone that's watching this, make sure you go and check them out, guys. They're absolutely fantastic. And yeah, just I can't thank me personally. I can't thank UKW enough. They were so welcoming and so polite. The fact that they went out of the way to make sure that we'd got everything we needed for the show. People kept coming up and obviously I was asking what we were doing. Took a really massive interest in what we were actually doing and really just offered everything to us, and it was fantastic. We can't thank them enough. So thank you to Jonathan Sedgwick, thank you to Joe Sedgwick, thank you to all the wrestlers, thank you to the staff, the crew, the camera crew, the announcers, the commentators, the stage crew, just everybody.
Commentators and announcers are the same people, you dick.
I know, but shut up. You've got to include you prick.
But don't forget to take someone new with you to go and see it. Like a new family member or out like that. It's a really good day to go, good evening to go and watch them and have fun. Like with me, being first time I go and watching it, I was really impressed. So if you've got family members or friends that you think that they'll really enjoy it, or even if they've never seen Note like that, take them with you, and I think they would really enjoy it and they'd be really surprised.
No, absolutely. I've took my dad to a wrestling show, and Jim knows the answer to that, and even he had a blast.
Yeah. But it's just good to support these local wrestling groups and stuff like that, and all the work that they're putting into it, especially when it's in their spare time as well, especially when they work full time and stuff like that. It's just good to support people in our areas, not even just in our areas, but doing it on the side of their own jobs and their own lives that they have got.
Yeah, and I think also you mentioned it at the start, the community, do you know what I mean? Meeting new people and stuff like that. I mean, if that's how me and Jim obviously get, used to obviously people. You go to shows, you get talking to people, and that's how we'd be able to get all the interviews and stuff like that. Do you know what I mean? So, Jim, what are you doing?
Dog's here. Dog's wants to know what we're doing. So, stroking, otherwise she'll start whining.
She just wants to know what we're doing.
Is it still getting your jib?
Yeah. Well, my auntie's gone with Dog now, so we're just halfway out. So she's wanting all his attention now because we've been giving it cocoa.
Oh, bless you. Jim, what we got coming up interview-wise?
Let me just quickly get my calendar up. So, for those of you that saw my announcement with Jamie Lee Dodd, she ended up pulling out of the interview yesterday because of a family issue, which I spoke to her co-host, and I'm actually going to be getting both of them on at the same time for 2 for 1 interview. So that's going to be quite an exciting one. I believe my next interview is in 2 weeks on Wednesday the 17th, where I will be interviewing from 3 o'clock Miss Skylar Rose.
Incredible. Do you know what I mean? Go check out her work and stuff like that because she's working so hard during the wrestling ring and stuff. As for me, my actual next interview is tomorrow, which I will be announcing later on today. We obviously have got another interview obviously on Sunday actually, with Shauna Reed. Kelly 6 is obviously on the 8th, and then another one on the 10th. So you know me, Jim, I'm always busy, right?
Mate, you're more busy than I am, and that's saying something because I'm working, gigging, and doing this. So it's more credit to you, mate. Honestly, there's no wonder you've got over 100 interviews.
Absolutely, and stuff like that. Now, obviously, we have got a show, I think, called Show for 3 or watch-alongs and stuff. We say this all the time, do you know what I mean? If there's anything you want us to watch, send it to us, you know what I mean? We'll watch it, we'll react to it. We recently did the low-key one, and Jim was like, oh my God, this guy's a dick.
Yeah, they were an absolute cock. I mean, there's no wonder that nobody wants to take him on or anything like that. And for me, he deserves everything that he's getting because he was just a complete prick.
Absolutely. Right then, guys. Jim, should we wind this up? Do you know what I mean? Because we're nearly an hour anyway.
Yeah, we've just gone over an hour, actually. So, yeah. Do you know what? I'm going to do something I've never done before. Shannon, I'm going to let you finish podcast. You can say whatever you like. Just obviously keep
Thank you for coming and watching us and getting to know who I am. But if there's any questions that you've got that you want to ask or that you want to come on the channel, just message and we'll be very grateful to get you on the channel. Yeah, on the challenge. And we'll be very welcoming that you come on. But I can't speak. Support the channel and we'll support you back, especially if you go to the local wrestlers and go and see them. Don't forget to like and comment if you want to leave a comment on any of this, and just subscribe to the channel, please, to both channels.
There we go. I think, Jim, that's a great thing to end on that, pal.
Thank you for watching.
See you guys. Thank you for watching. She's got